Welcome and thanks for joining me right here on my channel. The solution is you. I really do appreciate you for supporting the channel. Now, if you are just stopping by and appreciate the content, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Let me go ahead and get into today's subject. Now, the topic of today, 4 scenarios that show it's time to retire as a player. Now, first, let me hit on this. So it's really hot outside, it's summertime, and the temperatures can get pretty high. I'm talking like 100, in some areas. And there's no better time to take a good shower than in the summertime. So sometimes in the summer, you can find yourself taking a 20 to 30-minute shower, just depending on how hot you are or how much you need to relax. But in the summertime, usually you just get in there, you can take 3, 4 showers a day. But have you ever found yourself getting in the shower and you're taking your time, you're making sure the soap is hitting every area, and you just want to make sure that when you get out, you're smelling good and that you're fresh, and you put on your deodorant. You might even throw on, uh, if you're a woman, some perfume, or if a guy, you may put on some cologne or some scented oil, and you throw on some shorts or a light t-shirt or something like that, and you know you're fresh, so you go ahead and jump in the car. It's already air conditioned. Maybe you got your remote start already going. So you jump in, AC is blasting. And let's say you're on your way to the grocery store just to pick up a few items. And as soon as you get ready to go into the store, you've gotten out of your vehicle, there always seems to be somebody who needs a jump start. So you done got all fresh and you're ready to go, and you got your deodorant and you're smelling good with your perfume or your cologne, and then you have somebody who needs a jump start. Now, normally, I guess if it's a guy, sometimes you'll ignore the situation because he can take care of himself. But in most situations, there's always going to be a woman who is a fairly decent looking woman, somebody you just really can't ignore. You don't want to just leave them outside in the heat with no AC. So you have to go over and give them a jump start, and because it's just the right thing to do. And then you find that the jump start is taking longer than supposed to take. So instead of taking maybe 3 minutes, now the jump start is taking 10, and now you right back sweaty. So that seems to be one of the issues that you can find yourself in the summertime. So let me go ahead and get into the 4 scenarios that show it's time to retire as a player. So the good thing about when you're older, and when I mean older, I'm meaning you're no longer in your 20s or your early 30s. So when you're older, you're more mature, and there's a lot of things that you've experienced with women or for women with men. And the good thing about maturity is that you can sidestep any mistakes that you've made in the past. So when you see something that you know is not right, usually you can dodge that. So when you're younger though, in your 20s or your late teens, when it comes to dating, you may find that you can kind of do what you want at your parents' expense, or you can kind of do what you want at the expense of learning. So you can just say, oh, I didn't know any better, or something like that. But when it comes to relationships, when you're younger, you're basically experimenting, and you really don't know what you're looking for. So you're going from one date to the next. And in some instances, you may be rotating out women, or women may be rotating out men every 24 hours. So every day you have somebody new stopping by the house. So the thing about this though, regardless of how old you are, you never know who you'll come across and what they are into, and what they can bring to your house, or you just never know what the person, where their mental state is. So there's a lot of uncertainty about the person you're with. Sometimes you can look up and you can be in a situation that works out for you, and maybe you can deal with this person on and off for a year or two, and everything is good. But usually when you're young, in your 20s and in your early 30s, you're experimenting. So you might have a woman here and then a woman there, and then you got two over here, and then on the other side of town you got another three. So this is something that usually dissipates as you get older, because as you get older you're more tied into building family, and you have other things going on. You got your career jumping off, and you may have kids. But in some instances, none of this stops a person from going out and cheating. So, cheating is a big deal. Relationships are a big deal. So, this is something that you may have found yourself outgrowing, or you may currently be going through this phase, depending on if you started your life too soon. If you started life too soon, meaning starting a family. So, again, let me go over the 4 scenarios that either yourself or somebody who's close to you may be going through, that signifies that it's time to retire as a player. Let me start with number 4. Caught the bus. So, men, you may have been in a situation, and hopefully you're not in this situation now, unless you're young, but you may have found yourself in a situation where you have a main girl living with you. So you're paying all the bills and the rent. She may be living with you. She's not working. And she possibly could be going to school. Maybe she's going to school to study healthcare, but she's not working. So she's home all day and you're gone. And so, you're out at work doing your thing. And this woman is not a bad woman at all. She doesn't really give you a hard time. She doesn't give you much pushback on anything. It's just that she stays home all day. So this could be a chick that has shoulder length hair. She could be a full bodied woman and very nice. And she always has you a meal ready when you get home. And she makes sure that she caters to all of your needs when you're at home. But the thing is, you're gone during the day and you're the only one working. And you're putting in a lot of hours. So when you come home, you really don't have time to do anything else because you're so tired. And when you're at work, the workplace is always a place that is filled with women, especially if you're at a call center or you are at some corporate office job that holds a lot of employees. Usually there's a lot of women around, so you can't help but to interact with all the different women that are around each day you go to work. And you might have became friendly with this one particular woman. Now, this woman didn't look as good as the girl that you have, but she was fairly decent. And so you've gotten to know her because, y'all pretty much work together each day. And this may be a woman that she don't have a ride, so she doesn't have a way to get back and forth to work. She doesn't have a car, and she uses public transportation to get back and forth between her place and the workplace. And so a few times you found yourself taking her home. So after work, y'all have the same hours basically, and you find that you given her a ride a couple of times and dropped her off. So there's been a good relationship established between you two. And the the distance from the job is really not that far. As far as the drive is maybe like probably about 10 minutes just to get over to her place. But from the job to your spot, it takes you about an hour. So, 10 minutes from the job to her place is really not a big deal. There is nothing suspected by your woman because there's not that big of a gap. So there's nothing really to suspect. So one day you're dropping off this woman and she offers you to come upstairs, and you say, well, hey, I don't really have nothing to lose. I mean, it's probably should be just for a short while. So yeah, let me go ahead and come upstairs. So you go ahead and you go upstairs. Now, prior to your main woman, you were always rotating women in and out, and you couldn't keep a woman for more than a month before you got into another relationship. So by you and your main woman being together, she'd been holding things down. You were trying to basically clean up your act. But now this woman has made things so convenient for you, and she's offered you to come upstairs. You've parked the car and went upstairs. So now you're upstairs. She has you sitting on the couch, and y'all are still talking while she goes and takes just a quick shower so she can get into something more comfortable. And so you're watching your clock because time is ticking. And so she just takes like a 2 to 3 minute shower and comes right out and sits next to you. And she starts holding your hand, and you're kind of wondering where things are going and why she called you upstairs. And next thing you know, she was sitting on your lap. And so now you're sitting back, and you really wanted to go, but you really didn't know what your mind was telling you. And one thing led to another. Now you're in a situation. So you run back down to your car after about 15, 20 minutes, and you get in your car and you hit the freeway so that you can be on your way home. And on your way home, you call your girl, let her know that you stopped by, got something to eat for you too, and that you're on your way. So that was that. So the next day, you drive to work, an hour to work. You get there and you see the woman there that you've been dropping off at home, and that she's smiling, and you're smiling, and she is uh, sending you text messages because she had your phone number, but she kind of texts you here and there. And so now that's pretty much the end of that. You kind of kept it to just smiles. So now she wants you to stop by again. So, but this time, you can't keep getting into this because it'll start something that you can't get out of. So you go ahead and you say, hey, look, hey, I ain't gonna be able to come over there. I gotta go home and there's things that I gotta tend to, but she doesn't know that you have a main woman at home. She just knows that you stay by yourself. Your woman doesn't know anything about her, and you just, every time you leave work, you just go straight to your house. So you head back home. So now you're at home with your main woman, and it's a Saturday. So every day during the week, the girl from work has been sending you messages, and you haven't been returning the messages because ever since you went up to her apartment, the messages have been increasing. So she's been sending you more and more messages each day, but you ignore them because you've been down this road before and you know where it can lead, and you don't want to get involved in that. So you just been ignoring the messages, and you wish you never gave her the phone number. So it's a Saturday. You and your woman are at home. Y'all are in bed. It's morning time. And you know how it is. Sometimes on a Saturday, you get that knock at the door. Say it's around 9 a.m. and you get a knock at the door. And this is a different knock. Sometimes you get that knock and oh, this is the police. Or sometimes you get that knock and you're like, maybe this is some kids playing at the door or something. But you go to the door, your woman's still in bed, and usually you just open the door without looking through the peephole. You usually open the door and just kind of greet the person through the crack of the door. But this particular time, something told you there was a different knock. So you looked out the peephole, and the girl is standing right outside your apartment. So she continues to knock while you looking out the peephole. Have that ever happened to you? Somebody showed up at your house, somebody you were messing with or you're dating, and you didn't expect them to come by your house because you didn't give them your address. Or if you gave out your address, you didn't tell them to come over. So you look out the peephole and she's standing out there and she continues to knock on the door. So at this point, you get nervous because you know you got your main woman in there and this person's knocking on the door, and your main woman knows that you should be answering the door. So now you kind of tiptoeing back to your main woman and she's like, "Who is that at the door?" And then you tell her, "Oh, it's nobody, somebody's selling something." So the knocks continue for another minute or two. And so you just tell your woman, never mind that, they'll go away. They just selling something. I don't like to open the door if they selling stuff. Now, this entire time while you in bed just praying that this woman leaves, you're thinking, how did she get my address? And how did she get over here? But then you remembered that there's a bus route that's right near your apartment complex. This woman done found a way to locate where you live on the internet, catch the bus, and come over to your spot unannounced because you were not answering the phone. That's the result of putting it down too good. Number 3, job infiltration. So at most jobs, especially today, security is of most importance. It's a priority. At these jobs, you never know who could show up at your job. So a lot of jobs have some type of metal detectors that you have to go through depending on how important the job is or what type of industry you're in. A lot of jobs have security working the front desk. Some of these jobs have security that is patrolling the parking lots. So no matter what you do or where you work, there's some form of security in place, whether it be security cameras, there may be some type of patrol that's sitting at a desk, there may be some type of badge access to gain entry to the front door. But you may have been cheating with a woman who lets you do any and everything. So you can call her up and you can go over there and she's willing to do whatever you want. And this is the type of woman, you kind of know what I mean. She lets you drive her car and she buys you all sorts of things without you asking. So she's always buying you a new piece of jewelry, or she's getting you a fresh pair of kicks, or she may be surprising you with some cash. This is the type of woman, whatever you need done, she'll do it. She's down for sexual gratification. She's probably one of those who can't go without sex every day. This is the one who always got to check up on you. She's calling your phone or texting you secretly, trying to see what you're up to, trying to tell you how much she misses you, even though she knows that she's not your main girl. So this is one who, at times, she can seem dingy. Like you think that she's behind, so you can kind of fool her and tell her any and everything and she'll believe it. You ever had one of those type of women that believes everything that you tell them, that listens to everything that you say? So this is one where you haven't told her that you have another woman or other women around, and she's led to believe that she's the only one, although she could believe somewhat that you have somebody, because usually in situations where you have a side piece, even though you're putting attention on them, they still believe that there's some other women involved. Even though you're telling them, even though they know they're the side piece, they still believe that there's more than one woman still around. You just can't be dealing with two or just only her. It has to be at least three or more. So this is one of those women you can possibly tell any and everything and she'll believe it. So, you go back to work and you go home and you are so sly and slick that you're able to create all sorts of time in order to get to this woman, to take advantage of all the goodies that she's been given to you. And she's feeling great because you're the best thing that ever happened to her. So she's willing to take you wherever you want to go, give you whatever you want, satisfy all of your needs. So this is a woman that hounds you so much. She wants your attention so much as time goes by. She wants to just eat up so much of your time in calling you that you've decided that she has to just chill out because she's just calling you too much. And if you continue down that road, it's just going to continue to get worse and it's going to interfere with all the other women that you have. It's going to cut into their time. So you have to really cut down on the amount of time and communication that you're spending with this particular woman. And so you're at your job and you're working, it's a normal day, and you're known pretty much by everybody at the job. Have you ever been at a job like that where pretty much everybody knows you? So from the time you pull up in the parking lot, there's somebody who pulled up at the same time as you and they tell you good morning. And then as soon as you go in the building and you walk into your station or whatever, then you talk to security and you're telling them have a good day. And then as you're walking down the hallway, you see two or three people and you're dapping them up or whatever. And then you go and you start your day. So you started your day. Your morning's going great. You've made a few sales or you've made some calls that were outstanding and everything is good, and you've taken your break and you've come back, everything is good at the job, and it's a bright sunny day, and you've been to lunch, and so far you halfway through the day, everything is great. You come back from your lunch, everything is good. And so you're sitting at your desk and you get a phone call that's saying that your woman is downstairs and is requesting to speak with you. So, you know, from time to time, your main woman usually calls you and she wants to come see you. Maybe she come and visit you, and she go and she checks in and she's down there waiting to greet you. Maybe there was something that she wanted to bring to you before she went to her job. So you hurry up and you get off a phone call that you own and you run downstairs because you want to meet up with your main woman. And you get downstairs, you go down the elevator, you get downstairs and you're walking swiftly, and the woman that had been supplying your needs, that been giving you money, that been buying your kicks and buying your jewelry and doing all these things that you enjoy, is standing there in the lobby looking at you with a stern face. And you're wondering, how does she get through security? Had that ever happened to you? Have you ever been at a job that's supposed to be secure and somehow this particular person who you thought didn't know much about anything somehow infiltrates the security system and they're able to get beyond a certain point to get access to you, and you wondering how they were able to do that but nobody else can? You have to be careful about who you're out here messing around with and cheating with, because you never know what they're capable of. Let me go ahead and get into number 2, unexpected car detail. So sometimes you may have found, or you recently may have been in a situation where you're at home and you're chilling and you into stuff that you're not supposed to be. You've been rotating honeys and you're at home, you got family, you got kids and all of this, you got a wife. And so your thing is to make sure that they're safe and to make sure that your kids are not exposed to things that they are not supposed to be. Your job is to create a safe environment. So you're at home, but you got all of these extracurricular activities going on when you're away from the house. Maybe you're at work, or maybe it's something that you had going on, somebody you met at some other location, and you've been communicating with them and you've been dipping in and out. And because you have a family, you really don't have that much time to spend with them. But have you ever been in a situation where you've come outside to take the trash out and you got your car parked outside and you're coming out to take the trash out, and when you get outside you walk right past your car and notice that you have either a note on your door? So you go by and you take a look at the note, and this is a long written out note, and before you know it, you're looking around and you're all paranoid trying to see if the person who wrote the note and left it on your car is still around. Or this could have been a situation where you come out to your car, maybe you were coming out to grab something that you left in the car, maybe your cell phone charger or something, and your car has been drawn up in lipstick. So you got lipstick all over your car, or you got some type of writing with a marker or something all over your car talking about I love you, I miss you, don't leave me, or something like that. Now I know for some of y'all get into some deep stuff where you have your car keyed up, or your windows broken out, or your tires flattened. But there are some women who are just trying to give you a message. They ain't really trying to go and break anything on your car, but they just trying to let you know, I know where you stay, or I'm watching you. So they may have your car marked up or have some type of stickers or something on your window, hoping that your woman comes down first and sees it. Now, who's been in this situation? Now you're paranoid and you're looking out the window before you come outside, and you're trying to take a back route. Maybe you have 2 or 3 cars, and now you have to switch up cars, or you have to park your cars in different areas so that you can have a clean escape. When you're dipping and dashing, man, that can cause all sorts of problems. And number 1 of the 4 scenarios that show it's time to retire as a player. She might want seconds. So I know there's a great deal of you men out there who have been dating a woman for about 6 months, could be longer. But this woman, although she's banging, she has a good number of sisters. So maybe she has about 3 sisters that all live near her, and they come over often. And you visit your woman pretty often. And each time that you are with your woman, there's at least one sister over. Or this could be a situation where whenever you go out, there's a sister that accompanies you. So maybe y'all are going out somewhere to the mall or something like that. And maybe your woman is one of those, she likes to take her sister everywhere she goes. But I know there's a great deal of you men out there who you may find that the sister looks a little better, or maybe the walk is a little better than your woman's, or there's, you haven't invested that much time into your woman, so you really haven't developed the respect that you should have. So everything is just based on aesthetics. So you're looking at the sister's walks and the looks, or maybe she has some curves, or maybe there's a certain smile or dimples that she has, or maybe she's giving you the eyes at times. And maybe it's one of those devious sisters. So this could be one of the sisters every time you come over to the house. This sister is over there and you just happen to be sitting down with your feet kicked up, and every time the sister walks by, she's kind of looking at you with a little too long, with the eye squinting and the smile with the dimples or something like that. And she walks a certain way. You ever been in that situation where you really can't tell if the sister is trying to send you a signal or not? So this is a very dangerous one right here, because you never know if the sister is auditioning for seconds, or if she's trying to set you up to go back and tell your woman that you are no good. But some of you, I know, have fell for the bait. So there may have been a sister or something that is leading you on, and maybe you're over there telling her how good she's looking, and that she's uh, looking just as good as her sister, which is the girl that you're dating. Or maybe you are secretly trying to take her to the store, and maybe you're giving her money on the side, or you're doing too much on her birthday. You know what I mean? Instead of giving her about $5 to $10, you giving her $60. So you have to be careful in situations where you're dealing with your woman's sisters, because you never know what they're setting you up for. They could be telling their sister while you're not around that, girl, you need to dump him. He ain't no good. He was trying to flirt with me. They may be trying to tell them something that you didn't even do. Who knows? Or who knows, maybe they were trying to come on to you, and if you're not standing up and doing the thing that's right, this could put you in a situation. This woman that you're with could be somebody who you're meant to be with for the long term, and you could possibly mess up a situation. So as we all get older, there's a lot of things that we need to avoid that are unhealthy, especially when you have children. Children tend to take after their parents, and things that they see us do, they tend to take after. So we want to make sure that we are setting healthy examples. Now, in situations where you're single, you can do pretty much what you feel, as long as it's not impeding on someone else's feelings, or disrespecting them, or putting them in a situation where they can become harmed. Communication is always good, to let a person know where you stand on certain issues, and as far as dating, and if you're dealing with someone who could possibly be deranged, it's always important to let that person know. Even if it's someone that you're no longer with, that you've had a problem with, the person that you're dating currently needs to know that information, because if you run across that ex that really has a problem understanding of you, they have a issue with you moving on, then the person that you're with has a right to know. And it's just the right thing to do, and it's up to us to make sure that we're being responsible, and making sure that we're looking out for ourselves and others, and making sure that we're creating healthy environments for our families. I do appreciate you for listening to me today. Please understand that the solution is you. With that, have a great day.